Around the years of 1700, there lived a Rwandan girl whose name was Ndabaga. She was an only child born in the shadow of war. Ndabaga's father, Nyamutezi, went off to serve the king in his army before she was old enough to remember him. As law stood by that time, a healthy man had to serve the kingdom till old age, only earning a peaceful retirement upon being replaced by his son. For he had no son, Nyamutezi's fate was to die a warrior in the king's service. Ndabaga ached to know her father was growing old with no hope of relief, no chance to return home to his family. But what could she do? There was no course of action for a daughter to relieve a father. Only boys and men were trusted to perform the physical feats of a warrior, not until Ndabaga decided otherwise. Here is what Ndabaga did. She spent her days training. Ndabaga pushed the limits of her speed, her strength and stamina as well. She ran and jumped. She learned to wield a spear, a bow and arrow. She learned to fight, and soon she fought better than any other boy of her age in the village. She was almost ready to approach the king. The final step was to disguise and hide her gender identity. She bound her breast, flattened her chest, so that she would appear as a man. This way, she could relieve her father of duty as his son. After some days, Ndabaga made her way to the battlefield, Urugerero, to replace her father. Her father hardly believed her daughter was ready to perform masculine duties, including warriorship. As time passed, Ndabaga excelled in all the war games put on by the warriors and excelled in war itself. Among grown men trained from childhood in the masculine arts of war, Ndabaga found no match. Before long, she caught the king's attention and was promoted as a leader of her peers. As often happens when women achieve distinction, the men around her started thinking she did not deserve it. They had noticed that Ndabaga never bathed with the rest of the warriors and always dressed in private. Rumors came up that Ndabaga was really a girl in disguise, and when they reached the king's ears, he demanded that Ndabaga prove her gender in a fighting contest. Surely, if she were a girl, she would be thrown down by the true warriors in the king's service. On the contrary, she bet every man they fought. She was better than all those who were supposed to be naturally gifted fighters due to their masculinity. Finally, the king asked her outright, "Are you a man or a woman, Ndabaga?" Ndabaga answered truthfully, explaining that she had never got to meet her father, who was growing old and tired in service of the kingdom because he had no son to replace him. She felt it was her duty to take up the responsibility of fighting for the king so that her father could return home in peace. Amazed by this exceptional woman, the king took Ndabaga as his wife. But that's not all. The king's eyes were opened. In response to Ndabaga's story, he changed the law that required men to fight as warriors into old age and sent those without sons to relieve them home to their families. Ndabaga was able to make life better for her country, and she proved that women were capable of the same feats as men. From the dire situation she found herself in comes the famous Rwandan saying, "Ibintu byageze iwa Ndabaga," which speaks of desperate solutions for desperate situations. The end of the story.